Cosmic Woes of Starving Beasts. Chapter 6. The Uninvited. Here you go. A toasted bagel with a thick smear of cream cheese and a slice of ham with American cheese on top, as you requested. Noah held out the tinfoil wrapped bagel towards the brooding Jeremy. Jeremy, who took a bit to register the gesture, took it as he continued ruminating on what had transpired, the events bouncing around inside of his head like the steel balls on a pinball machine. Just as he was biting into his bagel, Noah's team had started to arrive. Far too late for the standards of officers of New York, even with the accompanying traffic. Showing up inconsiderately delayed after their panicked radio call. Probably think we're just full of shit, Jeremy speculated. The sun was now rising above the horizon and casting beams of orange light that reflected off the thick square lenses of Jeremy's glasses. They showed up and addressed Noah with false worry and concern, and showing even less for Jeremy or his well-being. Should have expected that. I'm still a nobody, after all, thought Jeremy, who had grown used to being ignored. Noah shared the details of what had transpired, and pointed to the dead man whom Jeremy had already done the civic duty of investigating. He left that part out. Better not to mention how an unqualified rookie tampered with the crime scene. When Noah and the officers were finished talking, he walked back over to Jeremy, who was feigning uninterest, as he leaned against the hood of the car. So, what did they say? Didn't seem too thrilled about being here, asked Jeremy, trying not to sound too interested while he looked at his fingernails. Don't mind them. They've been staking out a case all night. They're just cranky. Anyways, the good news is we don't have to explain this to anyone. It's hardly been the first case like this. Strange shadows and blurred figures have been all too common lately, according to the radios, Noah said while stretching his mouth into a deep and lingering yawn. Noah was acutely aware of his lack of sleep. I'm guessing there's a retraction, said Jeremy, who already knew what to expect. Noah chuckled a bit, like someone caught red-handed. Yeah, that's right where the good news ends, if you can even call it that. The fact none of us knows what that thing even looks like, and there's never any witnesses besides the dead ones. This is another big fat dead end for me to add to the shit list. Sorry, Noah. Should have said something when you got back, but my whole body froze. I didn't even know what to say. Maybe that guy would be alive if I... Jeremy fell into his common coping mechanism of self-blame. A single thought. If I wasn't weak, flooded his brain. Noah answered with his calm and reassuring tone. You did what you could do. No point in asking what could have been, Jeremy. The guy's dead, and that's that. Despite Noah's attempts to make Jeremy feel better, the sinking feeling of helplessness continued to weigh heavy on him. Yeah, I guess so, was all Jeremy could say before he quickly popped back with an inquisitive question. What about that acid on the ground? Did that actually come out of it? Jeremy hesitated at what noun to use, still unaware of what they were dealing with. I've got no clue. That shit is so toxic, it's gotta be from some thing it had on him. No living thing has blood that can dissolve fucking rock. Noah was clearly fed up with the situation, unable to come to terms with the possible supernatural aspect of their encounter. They didn't say much else, while the officers finished their rounds and procedures. When the teams all had left and the crime scene was cleaned up, outlined with yellow police tape and a chalk outline drawn around where the man's body had been, Jeremy and Noah were left sitting, eating their food in silence. A feeling of implacable dread was hanging over them, like a dangling noose ready to choke the life from their bodies. As if driven by fear, or his own hunger, or perhaps both, Jeremy ate his bagel with the speed of a starved raccoon, huffing it down his gullet in a few bulbous bites. By the time Noah looked back, Jeremy's hands were now conversely empty. He wiped them against one another as he chewed on the oversized bagel stuffed inside of his mouth, Cream cheese smeared his lips and cheeks as he looked back at Noah, who was still unwrapping his own bagel. Noah stared in confusion. Jeremy's cheeks were filled to the brim with food, and he appeared to Noah as a human-sized chipmunk. Noah could not help himself but laugh hysterically at the sight of Jeremy. The metaphorical noose hanging over them was now gone, replaced instead by comedic relief. Noah began to try to say something through his choked tears of laughter. How can such a little guy like you eat like that? You didn't even taste that bagel, did you? Jeremy smiled sheepishly at Noah as he swallowed the last bits of food. Gotta eat when the eating's good. At least where I come from, that's how the saying goes, he finally said after his mouth was clear. Goodness, man, wipe your face off. I can't take you seriously looking like that. Noah handed Jeremy a napkin while still laughing, and Jeremy feverishly wiped his face until the cream cheese was all gone. There, fancy pants. Do I meet your standards now? Jeremy shot at Noah with a hint of attitude. If you mean you don't look like you got bukkakied anymore, yeah, I think you're good, Noah said with a devilish grin as he matched Jeremy's attitude with his own. The fuck is a bukkake? Asked Jeremy, who had never even heard of such a phrase. Maybe I'll tell you when you grow up, son. Eat your vegetables and drink your milk. Noah was doing his best imitation of a sarcastic fatherly figure. Jeremy rolled his eyes at Noah. Yeah, whatever, Dad. Hurry up and eat. We still have to head to that old lady's apartment, don't we? The one who got killed? As if it had completely slipped his mind, Noah's eyes widened a bit with recognition. Ah, shit, yeah, we better get over there. Plus, the landlord's a total douchebag, and I don't really want to deal with his shit this early in the morning. I'll just eat my bagel on the way. Plus, you're the only one who's going to be doing anything. I'll just sit back and wait in the car. Wait, you aren't going to come with me? I hardly know the area or the people. They aren't just going to let me do whatever I want. Jeremy seemed worried about the consequences of intervening where he shouldn't. Relax there, princess. I'll be right outside. Plus, these guys know not to fuck with me or my men. They see me and my sexy Mustang pulled up. They'll know you're with me. Not quite satisfied, but too tired to argue, Jeremy lets the issue drop. He supposes they'll reach that point when they get there. They both climb into his Mustang again, the pistol still in the seat and the radio on the dash. For a moment, Noah just stares at the empty space of the car, unblinking, before he moves the radio to its holster and climbs in. Just put the pistol back in the side door. I got a feeling it's not going to be the last time we'll need it. Well, I hope it is, but... His words trailed off, leaving an implication to pick up on. Yeah, I get it. No need to get into specifics. Jeremy slid the pistol into the door pocket. As soon as Jeremy's ass was planted in the seat, Noah peeled out of the gas station lot, hoping to distance themselves as much as possible from the mess. They only had to drive 40 minutes downtown, where Noah coolly eased up into a rustic-looking block in Upper Manhattan. They were parking into the side of the street in which the sidewalk broke apart sporadically. Holes and divots lined the walking strip. As Jeremy stepped out of the car, he noticed shell casings lined the cracks, clearly from a gunfight. Noah caught Jeremy's gaze and instinctively answered the question as soon as it formed. Gang violence. This side's got some pretty rough turf wars going on from what I hear. Jeremy could only nod as he continued to stare down at the empty casings, the bright brass illuminated by sunlight and reflecting back sharply into his squinting eyes. Noah pointed out the car window at a building directly in front of them. That's the building. Head on in and tell them I sent you. If you run into trouble, come get me. Jeremy marched up the steps of the building that seemed barely held together based on the crumbling red brick walls and spray-painted windows. An image of a cartoon man dressed as a wolf was biting the neck of a police officer with the words, "Long live la vida loca," next to it. The image struck Jeremy in an odd way as it continued up the steps. As Jeremy stepped inside, the atmosphere began to envelop his senses. The instant smell of wet wood and mold flooded his nostrils. The warped wood floorboards as the main hallway creaked loudly under his weight. He continued following the path up the stairs to the second floor. The stairs were metal slates slapped between two long silver pipelines shimmying up the walls. They barely looked like they could hold themselves together, let alone him. But as he stepped on the first metal step, he was surprised the steps did not budge in the slightest, betraying their deceiving look of false feebleness. Jeremy walked up step after step. The smell of mold permeated and persisted inside of Jeremy's nose, not getting worse but insisting itself in his nostrils. He finally reached the second floor, where many people were lounging, standing, or sitting outside their doors. Scattering about the long expanding hall of doors, Jeremy walked down the hall. The stranger's eyes locked onto him like heat-seeking missiles, and he could feel their judgment and disdain already. It was only now Jeremy realized something. "Shit, Noah, you fucker. You didn't tell me which apartment it was," Jeremy thought to himself. He contemplated heading back to ask Noah, but he could already tell what his reaction was going to be. "Really, Jeremy? You could figure out an unseen and mysterious cause of death, but you can't figure out which apartment a lady died in?" Jeremy mimicked Noah's mocking and sarcastic tone well inside his own head. "Screw that. I can do this without him. No big deal. All I have to do is use context clues and ask around. Can't be that hard, right?" Jeremy turned back towards the hallway and scattered people sitting outside their doors. Most of them had people in front of them, save for 3 doors. Jeremy walked cautiously towards them. He stood in front of a man sitting on a luggage suitcase. The man looked back with an annoyed expression. "You got a staring problem? The fuck you looking at, Four Eyes?" The man didn't really sound all that upset at him, perhaps just fed up with his predicament. He was a colored man, probably around the age of 50, with a deep mocha tone to his skin and a thick curly afro, with a comb pick sticking out of it. He had a shingle-style sunglasses on, the ones without lenses with the plastic molded in the shape of roofing tiles to block the sun instead. He was wearing a white wife beater underneath a camo button-up overshirt, and he had on camo military pants tucked into military combat boots. His wife beater was also tucked into his pants, covered with a standard black belt with a modest-sized buckle. Calculated and efficient. He seemed like he was preparing for war, and boy, was he ready. "Sorry about that. My name's Jeremy. I'm not sure if you know Noah, but I'm with him. I'm just here to investigate what happened with the old lady that passed." Jeremy's voice dropped to a whisper as he mentioned the old lady, hesitant to draw more attention to himself. "Any idea which apartment was hers?" Jeremy was so nervous. This man looked as if he could tear Jeremy apart in an instant. The man stared back at Jeremy, his eyes hidden behind the sunglasses, and he finally spoke. "Yeah, sure, I know Noah. Where's he at anyway? Ain't normal for him to be absent for this stuff. I can't just trust you on your word, you know. I'm sure you understand. But you do seem innocent enough. Old lady's apartment is further down the hall. 305, but I'm gonna give you a bit of a warning first. The landlord is a fucking dickhead. Ever since the incident, he's had us all sitting on our asses outside our apartments until this whole thing gets sorted. I doubt he'll let you anywhere near the crime scene without Noah." The man's voice was emotionless and tactical. He was definitely not someone to be messed with. I see, thank you. I appreciate your advice. As for Noah, he's just outside in his car. I can go get him if I have to. Any chance I could get your name? Just for the records, of course." Jeremy winced slightly. It was a risky thing to ask, especially given the situation. "Name's Malik. That's all you're getting for now. At least until I know I can trust you, that is. Why don't you go get Noah and come back, and then maybe we'll talk some more, alright? Not like you're gonna get far without him anyways." The man took out a pack of cigarettes from his overshirt pocket and stuck one in his mouth. Jeremy noticed the man had a noticeable gap between his 2 front teeth, which the cigarette nestled and rested in comfortably. The man paused before lighting it and gestured the box towards Jeremy, offering him one to take one as a sign of good faith. Jeremy politely refused. No, thank you. I'll go get Noah and come back. Thanks, Malik. Jeremy started to walk back the way he came, and Malik spoke again as his back was turned. You go ahead and do that, young buck. And, watch yourself around here. Whole lot of strange shit has been happening. The man took a long drag of his cigarette and exhaled audibly. Jeremy stopped his pace once again, turning again to face Malik once more. You don't gotta tell me twice, Malik. I already had my run-in with the unexplained. Jeremy kept walking, his pace picking up speed ever so subtly. Gotta get to Jeremy. Gotta get to Noah. Then gotta figure out what the fuck is going on here. Jeremy repeated over and over to himself as he headed back down the stairs and back outside to Noah's Mustang. As he neared the door, he noticed a commotion coming from outside, and as he exited the rundown building, he saw just what that commotion was. Outside, Noah was arguing with a man. They were both standing on the sidewalk. Noah held his hands up against himself while the man was pointing his probing and invading digit into his chest like a knife, twisting into him with piercing certainty. Yeah, well, if it weren't for you fucking cops, we wouldn't be in this mess, the man shouted at Noah, spittle flying from his mouth like a rabid dog. He was wearing ragged and tattered clothes, and he was filthy, covered in dirt and grime, possibly homeless. Most likely homeless, in fact. Sir, I understand your anger, and I assure you, me and my partner are on it. Just give us a bit of time to... The man cut off Noah's words. Time? You want time? What about us, huh? How much time are we going to be given before we are all dying in the streets like animals? The man stopped himself a moment to collect himself, and possibly to stop himself from crying. Please, Noah, please. Please help us. My wife already, she's dead. They got her when I wasn't around. God, I can never forgive myself. Never forgive them. They ambushed her in the night and left her corpse in the streets for the dogs to chew, Noah. They have to be found. We have to punish them. Noah relaxed a bit and put his hand on the shoulder of the man, offering some shred of sympathy. We will, Marcus. We will find them. If it's my last dying act as I will find the ones who are doing this, please believe me. With that, the man took his finger away from Noah's chest and sauntered off, holding his head slightly and mumbling to himself as he went. Jeremy finally walked up to Noah. Fucking hell, what the fuck was that about, Noah? Tensions are high, Jeremy. Don't think badly of them. Lots of people have lost loved ones already, and, well, they need someone, anyone really, to blame. It's the only way they can cope with the loss, at least until they get answers and closure. Anyways, what did you need? You run into any trouble? Well, I don't know if it's trouble necessarily. The guy I spoke to said I won't get anywhere unless you tag along. Let me guess, it was Malik, wasn't it? Noah asked. Yeah, but how did you... Me and Malik go way back. He worked with my dad before he became the chief. He's a bit rough around the edges, but he's a good guy. Don't let his demeanor throw you off. Oh, yeah, he seems alright. We got along okay, I think. He said if we want to get into that lady's apartment, we gotta go through the landlord first, though. He's got everyone standing outside their apartments until we figure this mess out. God damn it, Dimitri, Noah said, groaning audibly. Fine, I'll go in there with you, and we can sort this shit out together, I guess. So much for taking it easy. Noah followed Jeremy back inside the building, the moldy smell from before hitting their noses once again as they climbed the stairs to the second floor. As soon as they reached the top of the stairs and Noah was in full view of the hall, Malik stood up eagerly. Noah, how the hell are ya? Are you still running errands for your dad? Malik waltzed over to Jeremy and Noah and gave Noah a tight bear hug before pulling back, his face no longer that of a killer, but of a happy old man greeting his buddy. Hey there, Malik. You're looking good. Yeah, afraid so. Chalk this up as another one of his missions he's assigned me. No shit? I was beginning to wonder who he was going to assign this one to. Guess he gave it to his own pride and joy. The bastard still won't let you on the force, will he? Yeah, well, you know how he is. Doesn't like to complicate things, least of all when family's involved. Besides, things work out easier with me under the radar. Yeah, I hear that. So, Pipsqueak here says he's with you. Guess he was telling the truth after all. You get assigned a babysit or something? Malik and Noah started laughing and kept chatting away while Jeremy stood feeling like a dried out cow patty left on someone's doorstep. And for a second, that really started to bug him. Jeremy felt his temper begin to edge upwards and out of his chest, towards his throat, but he managed to choke it back down and relax. Actually, we're, partners, Jeremy said, trying to sound confident and sure of himself when he said it. Malik looked at Jeremy with a surprised expression. You don't fucking say. Color me shocked. Here I thought the one and only Noah Quill didn't do partners. That you were one man show only there, cowboy. What changed your mind? Malik said, pointing the question at Noah teasingly. Noah chuckled a bit. Yeah, well, desperate times, desperate measures, Malik. Besides, you should see what this kid can do when he puts his mind to it. Noah offered Jeremy a reassuring wink, which helped ease a bit of Jeremy's tension. Well now, I suppose I'll just have to take your word for it, Noah. Malik reached a hand out to Jeremy, offering him a handshake. Pleasure to finally meet you there, Jeremy. Any friend of Noah's is a friend of mine. I'm Malik O'Malley. I'm what you might consider an unofficial arms dealer for the New York police. If there's something you want your hands on and aren't sure where to get it, I'm your guy. Malik was smiling a wide grin now, showcasing that gap in his teeth perfectly. Jeremy shook his hand. Likewise, Malik. I'm still getting new to all this. Oh, we got a babe fresh out the womb, do we? Not to worry, Jeremy. With Noah here to guide you, I'm sure you're going to do just fine. Now, not to be crude, but why don't you boys get your asses in gear and talk to Dimitri so we can all go back inside our apartments, yeah? Noah chimed in now. That rat Dimitri is still running the show, huh? Guess he wasn't in jail for very long. Yeah, well, it happens when you have your grubby little paws inside every district's pockets. The minute he goes in, he just finds some convoluted way to get out again, Malik said, clearly not too happy with this Dimitri person. Thanks, Malik. We'll go have a word with him. You just hang tight. Ain't like I got anywhere else to be, Malik replied dryly. Jeremy and Noah left Malik to his own devices and carried on deeper down the hall. Whenever someone's foot or belongings blocked Noah's way, they quickly moved it, as if the very thought of their collision spelled doom. I guess people really respect you here, don't they, Noah? Jeremy remarked idly as they walked. Comes with the territory, my friend. It's not because I'm the chief's son, either. Well, mostly. It's because I do the right thing. I look out for the little guy. I'm active in this community. That sort of stuff goes a long way around here. They finally neared the woman's apartment. Apartment 305. Noah stopped walking and turned towards Jeremy now. Look, Jeremy, when we meet Dimitri, I want you to let me do the talking, okay? It's not that I don't trust you. Quite the opposite, in fact. I don't trust him. Dimitri is as scummy as scum gets, and the only reason he hasn't been buried beneath New York is because of who his father is. Is he really that important? Jeremy asked curiously. Let me put it like this, Jerbear. His dad tells my dad when to wipe his own fucking ass. He's not someone to take lightly. Jeremy swallowed hard. Yeah, alright, Noah, you can do the talking. As if on cue, Noah and Jeremy heard footsteps approaching them. Out of the dim shadows of the building came a figure. It was a man. He had greasy, slicked-back dark brown hair and a shabby, disheveled, patchy beard. He had pimples across his face, and he was biting his nails as he walked, which were visibly filthy and had dirt underneath them. His hands were also dirty, covered in a mysteriously brown, sticky substance that would make anyone not want to shake hands with him. He wore a teal Hawaiian-style shirt with orange flowers, which looked like it hadn't been washed in years, and a pair of red athletic shorts with flip-flops, which made an annoyingly invasive and irritating slapping noise as he walked. He approached Noah, nearly getting right in his face, at the same time completely ignoring Jeremy. The man spoke through his teeth, still biting his dirty fingernails. Noah? Dimitri? Your father sent you? Yep. Here for the old woman? That I am, Dimitri. Don't know why you're pretending not to know that. Just getting my facts straight is all. Who's the twerp? Jeremy's blood started to boil yet again, yet Noah placed his hand in front of Jeremy, seeming to sense his anger. Just someone helping me with the case. Don't worry about him. Hey now, ain't it my job to worry? I'm the landlord after all. Yeah, and since when have you ever cared about being a good landlord, Dimitri? After Noah's comment, there was a hanging silence for a moment. Just a moment, before Dimitri burst out with hyena-like laughter. You got me, Noah. You got me there. You fucking got me. Alright, I won't bust your balls any further. Go on in. But, Noah, don't fucking break anything. It's my ass if anything else happens here, okay? Sure, Dimitri. In and out. Just the necessary steps, Noah replied bluntly. Dimitri gave him a slight nod, fumbling in his pockets for a moment before pulling out a giant ring with 100 keys on it. He shimmied through the keys quickly until he found the one he was looking for and stuck it in the door to the apartment they stood in front of, turning it and letting it click before turning the handle and slowly pushing the door open.